Hi, this is Tranae, and you're watching Craft Talk, my weekly series where we craft while talking about creativity, mindfulness, and personal development. Today's assignment, like I'm in school, right? Today's project is going to be one that's near and dear to me because it is the official project that I am submitting to the design team call that was posted by the Hip Kit Club, which is a subscription service that provides monthly scrapbook kits. So I ordered a kit last month, and then I joined their Facebook group, and I like the whole community is awesome. Let me just say that. And I like love my kit so much that when I saw that call to action, I guess we could call it, I was like, okay, I have to at least submit something to join this design team because I really like the brand, I love the products, and it's something that I wanted to be a part of. So, with that being said, the idea of blooming came into mind, and I was thinking about all the different floral elements in this kit, and I was like, okay, that goes. I have a picture from our visit to the Atlanta Botanical Gardens, and that was our first time going, and we kind of went on a spur of the moment, and was like, okay, we've lived in Atlanta all our life, and we never went. We didn't know if we was gonna like it or not, but we took the risk and we went anyway, and we had a blast. And just like with this layout, I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but I'm gonna take the risk, and I had a blast making it. And with everything we do in life, it's a matter of blooming and growing. And I found the quote, and you know how I am about quotes. I love me a good quote. But this quote said that in the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. And when I read that quote, I was like, oh, okay. Everything is just perfectly falling into line. So after reading that, I was like, I have to get this done and submit it. It was one of those things where it was like, okay, I can't wait. I'm so freaking excited. So I came and I think I did this layout. It probably took me maybe an hour, maybe. I was so excited about it. I mean, I was just on it. It was like effortless. And having this particular kit made it even easier because all the pieces coordinated, so it was really really easy. And so that brings us to this current moment, what I'm doing now. So the kit came with the two 12 by 12 papers that you see before you. And what I did, because I don't like wasting paper, I like to cut the inside of the piece out if it's just going to be around the edge. I cut that out, layered it with another piece that was 10 by 10, and then I added some embellishment, and I'm using Tumbo Mono Glue for this layout. And I switched over to using a wet glue because it has been crazy humid here in Georgia, and my regular Tumbo tape pen, it doesn't give as good as hold in these months, and I don't want to create something and then have it start to fall apart. But I said I'm gonna switch back over to the tape runner when I can get my hands on some of the Tumbo Extreme, because that stuff doesn't come off. But this Tumbo, the actual liquid glue, works just as good, and I love it also. So that's what I'm doing there. And throughout this layout, all I did was I pulled out pieces that I liked, and I kind of fussed around with them, trying to get everything into place, putting it where I want to, or where I thought it should go, and move it around, clear stuff off, add it back. And that's just the process of scrapbooking, but it's also the process of life when we take risks. We don't always go in knowing exactly how things are going to work out. Most people, when they do projects like this, for like scrapbooking for example, they have an idea where they're going, but the end never it's never really where you thought you were gonna end up. And like I said, that's life. you know, I'm sure you guys can agree with that. It's like that's life. And what I like about scrapbooking is that not only does it give you the opportunity to look back on a memory and then come back and add your feelings with journaling that you were feeling, but it also just gives you a time to reflect creatively. It gives you a time to grow creatively, and it gives you a way to safely take risks. And that's, to me, that's what crafting is in general. It's a way to unleash your creativity and to take risks and to grow. And that's why I do it so much. And that's why I always try to persuade other people to start crafting. Don't worry about if you're this great artist, or if you color the best. Nobody starts off perfect. Nobody starts off with just this gorgeous thing. You build up to it, and that's life. And any type of growth, whether it's personal growth, professional growth, spiritual growth, physical growth, you start small and then you bloom out from there. So as I figure out my layout for my embellishments, allow me to lay out some ways that you can promote more growth in your life. So let's start with tip number one: is never stop experimenting. Always look for new ways to explore and learn something new. It's simple, but it's true. Sometimes we can get caught up in routines and we don't really seek out new things to try out. And I know I can be really bad about that in terms of my eating habits. Once I find something I like, I will eat it almost every day. Like, for real, I would straight eat Chick-fil-A every day if I could. And I wouldn't try anything else, because if it's something I like, I will eat it. And I mean, that's just an example with me. But try not to get too stuck on things. I know, thankfully, my husband is a little bit of a foodie, so he's always challenging me to go new places. And that's just, an example that, I live through. But, it may be something different for you. So make a list and list out things that you're interested in, and then seek out an opportunity to explore it, or to test the limits, safely test limits. I always want to add that whenever we're talking about risk taking. You always want to make sure that your person physically and mentally are safe, and the people around you are safe. So there's that. But give yourself the opportunity to learn new things, because this will help you recognize talent, interests, and abilities that you didn't even know you had. And take paper crafting with me, for example, or just crafting really in general. I didn't grow up in a situation where I could be exposed to a lot of creative mediums. We was poor. We weren't pole, but we were. My parents worked to make ends meet, and sometimes ends still didn't meet. So I didn't grow up in a situation where I knew about a lot of things. Like, I knew about people could paint or people could draw, and that was pretty much it with art, because that's all they geared us to in school, which didn't really have a good arts program. I think I had to be about 2021 when I even found out that scrapbooking was a thing. It was just something I wasn't exposed to. But from the day I learned about paper crafting, I never stopped. I started, scrapbooking, making cards, making notebooks, and now it has been years and I'm still doing it. So my second tip is to ask questions. Don't be afraid to find an expert on a topic and ask them questions. I know now it's this whole thing that people are like, don't ask someone if you can pick their brain. I'm not giving away my knowledge for free. And I get it. However, I am a teacher first and foremost. And I believe that it's our duty to pass on our knowledge. And I never want to be selfish with that. So I always um, tell people to ask questions. Like, ask me a question. Even if I don't know the answer, maybe we can learn it together. Or I can point you to somebody who knows the answer. But ask questions, and then not only ask questions, but you have to challenge assumptions, because a lot of the assumptions that we have about life and some of the things that we hold as traditions and that we accept just because they have been taught, and we accept them because they are acceptable, it doesn't hold right with our spirit, and it doesn't hold right with our growth. So, that's another way that you can grow and you can bloom. So ask questions and challenge assumption is my tip number 2. So let's move to tip number 3. And you want to allow yourself to make mistakes. I know. Nobody likes making mistakes. I don't like making mistakes, but I don't allow that to hold me back. Because if you do, you won't get anywhere. Of course you're gonna make mistakes in life. It's just normal. Look at a baby learning to walk. It's for one, it's the funniest thing ever, because they toddle, but they don't be afraid of falling. They just get up when they fall. Sometimes they keep going, or they might whine a little bit. You give them a little pat on the back, and then they get back up and they keep going until they can walk. So allow yourself to make mistakes, because this, for one, it helps with your problem solving skills, and you need that in life. You need to be able to solve problems. 2, it increases your patience. I can firsthand testify that crafting will test your patience. I have had a couple of projects that I've spent a lot of time on, and it turns out to be crap. And you just have to learn how to be patient and move on from that. So also, when you allow yourself to make mistakes, you build your esteem and your self-efficacy that you have about yourself. And you build your self-reliance also. So you have to allow yourself to make mistakes. It's fun. In a not so fun type of way. But okay, let's go on to my next tip that I have. And that is to collaborate with others. Yes, you have got to find a community of people who think like you do, who value some of the same values that you have, who have been where you are, or who are trying to be where you are now. We all have a responsibility to help out others that are up and coming, just like we want others to help us out. So you have to collaborate with others, and it also will increase your interpersonal skills. I was sitting through a meeting, and one of the concerns that someone from the university had was that the students didn't know how to have just healthy relationships with each other, or just converse, hold a conversation, make a phone call. And it's just really the times we live in. It's so easy to be on the computer or on your smartphone and not have to talk to an actual person face to face. I get it. I don't like making phone calls myself, but I make them because that's just part of life. And the more you collaborate with others, the more comfortable you would become with doing such things that require us to be interpersonal and, show off our communication skills. So, one more tip, and this is the last one. And it's last, but it's one of the most important ones that I have. And that is, you have to plan time for creative thinking. We are in such a rush these days. Believe me, I get it. um, we want to multitask everything, and we want every second of our life to be where we are multitasking. But believe me, multitasking is evil. Because it makes you miss out on so many things. You don't pay attention to details when you're multitasking. You're just in a let me get it done, boom, 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 you know. But when you allow yourself to just be slow for a second, go slow, have slow thoughts, just be aware of your surroundings, be mindful of what you're hearing, what you're seeing, the smells you're smelling, the textures that you're touching. You allow yourself to see things in a new light. You allow yourself to generate new ideas. For the most part, you don't come up with new ideas when you're in a rush, unless it's something that's life-saving. But, that's not how most of us spend our time. We don't spend most of our time in life-threatening situations. We spend most of our time probably doing things that are kind of mundane that we value as high importance, but sometimes it's not really in line with our values. So when you give yourself time to think creatively, you kind of just let all the other stuff go and just be in the moment. Just give yourself time to reflect. And that's what we are doing right now. We are reflecting with our note card. And as you can see, I made it in a way that the journaling will be hidden. It will be hidden. I like scrapbooking and I like journaling, but sometimes I don't want my thoughts to be visible, because I like to lay out my scrapbooks throughout my house. And if someone is coming to visit me, I don't necessarily want them to, pick up something I have and read something that was deep for me. So that is it for today's craft talk. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, like it, and then subscribe to my channel so you can be the first to know when I post videos. And you can even go back and watch some of my past videos. I will not tell anyone. So that's it for me today. I will talk to you later. Bye.